What is going on, everyone? It's your guy, Cole Jackson, back here on Road Graders, powered today by BetUS, and we are going to be talking about one of my favorite topics. I think the reason most of you follow me, we're going to be jumping into the Ravens' offensive line play, taking a look at the Road Graders in the trenches, doing what I think is one of the most pivotal things this team needs to do to be successful, and that is protecting Lamar Jackson. Absolutely critical. One of the key factors to success all year has been limiting pressures, keeping Lamar comfortable in the pocket, and letting him do his thing. Before we jump into it, again, take a look at the Baltimore Ravens remaining schedule brought to us here by BetUS. We can see this Eagles game is going to be absolutely massive before a bye week that leads to the Giants, Steelers, Texans, and Browns to close it out. Drop a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think the Ravens' final record is going to be. And if you want to get in on the action, go over to BetUS, use promo code YouTube150, get 150% sign up bonus. You'll get 125% on your next two deposits. They have the fastest payouts in the industry, some of the best odds. Thank you to BetUS for sponsoring this video. And let's jump into the numbers. So pressures allowed by the Ravens O-line per PFF. They charted 3 pressures to Ronnie Stanley, 2 to Daniel Falele, and 0 to Rosengarten, McCary, and Linderbaum. As we'll see, I'm not sure I necessarily agree with these. For a few years, I've been thinking about doing my own charting. It's just it's a grind to do it every game. So I haven't gone in and done it, but you'll kind of see through the video. I disagree with some of their charting, which is fine. I usually do. Usually, honestly, I usually think they charge too many pressures this time. I thought they didn't charge enough. So we'll take a look at it. Let's dive into it. We're going to start here. We're going to take a look at this. It's out of chronological order just for your context. Take a look at some of the really positive reps where I thought, and one thing to note, taking a look at some of the edge rushers, they didn't so much chip Khalil Mack, but they chipped the hell out of out of Joey Bosa. And, I thought that we'll try and dial in on some of the reps, but I thought it actually hurt Rosengarten a few times where he was getting chipped, like Bosa's getting chipped from this wide alignment that you can kind of see here up on your screen on the left side, but it seemed to really make Rosengarten struggle with locating him once he got into his kick step. And I think a lot of that is because he aligns so wide when there is a tight end there. The tight end's obviously there to provide that chip help so that when the chip happens, there's still 2-3 steps to get to Rosengarten. So anyway, that's just something I want to throw out there because, we have to acknowledge when the offensive line's getting help. And the Ravens went into this with a game plan of using their tight ends to chip and then become check down targets. So obviously, that needs to be contextualized, especially when we look at Roger Rosengarten's performance, which was positive, but I'm just giving you guys the context that he did get some help. So here you're going to see that chip. And really like the way, and like just so we're on the same page, like the way I chart pressures is the player that forces the quarterback to have to change their movement. So it's not just a lost rep. So you're going to see, I want you guys to focus on Ronnie Stanley on the right side of your screen here. So you're going to see him absorb Khalil Mack. He gets out there. You can see that kick step is all the way back. Look at him get out there, fire out in his stance, and he's going to barrel down on him. He's going to absorb contact, and then you see how he sits into it. And so Mack is pushing him back. And so I think that this would be a pressure allowed from PFF. But if you watch Lamar Jackson, he does not have his movement affected. So he's not affected by the pass rusher. He stays in the pocket. Watch him. He has his eyes downfield. He takes a step, but he didn't have to scramble. So you can see right here, he's going to take that step right there. You see that back foot plant? That's just moving around the pocket to me. That's not necessarily having his concentration affected. That's not, having to scramble. And then he steps into the throw. So I personally this is, if anything, a very slow burn loss for Ronnie Stanley. So he's going to absorb that contact. He does start to lose the rep at the end there, and there is contact on Lamar Jackson with Khalil Mack. But and drop a comment if you guys disagree, because I'm always curious how other people view this. I wouldn't have charged a pressure here. And you can see Patrick McCary on the left side. Him and Linderbaum are going to, handle that stunt decently well and, create that pocket where he can step up. And so curious what you guys think about that Ronnie Stanley rep. I personally wouldn't have charged a pressure there because I don't think it affected Lamar Jackson. Keep rolling here. Another really solid rep. You see that solid pass off. And again, so you can see We're going to focus on Ronnie Stanley and Patrick McCary for this rep. Catch up here. We're going to focus on Ronnie Stanley and Patrick McCary for this rep, and they're going to work that twist. So 56 is going to come in, set the pick. Khalil Mack is going to rotate around, and you see Patrick McCary get his feet. You see that nice wide base that he sets after he picks that up. So focus on that as we watch Khalil Mack come around. Nice wide base. And then again, a slow burn. The pockets collapsed a little bit, but picking up a stunt, I don't think that's the end of the world. And I don't feel like Lamar Jackson was affected. I think he hangs in the pocket extremely well, and Deontay Johnson just falls. So thought that was a really solid rep. Nice to see them hand off that stunt. Good rep from Patrick McCary. If Patrick McCary could get rid of his holding calls, I think he's been a really solid left guard. You can't get your team a penalty a game. Like you can't. But overall, you get snap to snap reps like what we just saw, and I think it's been quite solid. So they have a bit of a conundrum with what to do with Patrick McCary. Keep rolling here. Really solid rep here from Daniel Falele. Thought he looked a little bit better here. Now Lamar does roll out. I don't think Roger Rosengarten's allowing a ton of pressure. You're going to see he's going to get a Bosa one-on-one rep here. Justice Hill comes out to chip. Doesn't really need it, though. I thought this was really solid. I think what Lamar saw is Mark Andrews is going to break open. You see right in the middle of your screen there. And I think Lamar is just going to scramble with him to create a bigger throwing window. So I don't think he's scrambling here because of the pressure. I think he was just creating another throwing window when he saw Mark in the middle of the field. Because Falele, I thought he did a hell of a job here. Rosengarten takes that chip help. Thought he stayed in front of Bosa quite well. But Lamar that's who he is, right? He can be a playmaker. He can get outside the pocket. So a lot of these reps looking really solid from the O-line. These are in chronological order at this point. So start of the game, Lamar struggled to start this game. And I think the offensive line giving him a little bit of confidence allowed Lamar to kind of settle in. And then things started to really turn on. And here we go. Ronnie's going to lose late here, but nice solid pocket through the majority of this rep. And this is what I mean. So you're going to see Aguilar. He's going to chip. We don't really need to be giving that chip help to Ronnie Stanley. So as he chips, Ronnie's already so far out in his kick step that it's going to open to Ronnie's right. So on his inside hand, it just opens that inside lane because Khalil Mack is getting chipped here. So Ronnie's already out, right? So that's a full 2 steps between them, and Ronnie has to react. So I just think that sometimes those chips, when they're coming from wide alignments, and you can see pre-snap, Khalil Mack is out over Aguilar, who's split out 2 gaps over. So I don't think they need to give that type of chip help. And again, that hesitation, that pause, that lane that creates, it leaves you pretty susceptible to that inside move because Ronnie Stanley has to shoot with that inside hand. And you get it looks like you're oversetting, but you're not. You're just running a normal pass set, but the chip is holding that player high, creating a 2-step lane, and then you have to basically take on the full 2 steps after you've stopped moving. So that was something that I think we over chipped. I understand why they were doing it to help Rosengarten out. Don't think we need to do it with Stanley. Again, this is something, so he's going to lose on the inside right at the end, but again, Lamar gets that ball out. Solid. I hate seeing him take contact. Obviously, don't want to see that. I'd still say that's a rep that Ronnie Stanley loses at the end, but I do think it was mostly because of that chip disrupting. You can see right here, no help. See him in his pass set, how he's able to take that outside angle. That's how Ronnie likes to set and pass pro. He wants to force you outside, take away that inside hand, and by not having that space in between him when he has to take on 2 full steps, when he stopped moving, it makes a huge difference. So really solid rep here. You're going to see a bunch of guys, nice clean pocket, Lamar all day just to kind of sit in that pocket. So love seeing that. See solid reps here. No help. You're going to get the double inside from McCary and Linderbaum. Ronnie takes care of the outside. So does Rosengarten, and so does Daniel Falele. Falele getting walked back a little bit, but he drops his anchor quite well. Keep rolling here. More help for Rosengarten. And this was one of those reps where, so this is going to be the touchdown throw, the 40-yard bomb. Watch the inside stunt. So the 4-tech over top of Ronnie Stanley and the 2-tech over top of Falele? I thought it said 72. I was really confused. So they're going to run that stunt, and you can see Tyler Linderbaum did not see it. So this is a rep that didn't allow a pressure, but it very well could have. So as that stunt comes around, Tyler Linderbaum and Patrick McCary are both doubling. Linderbaum has turned around at this point. And Falele, because they're running a 3-man slide to the left, Falele is over on the right, but this player, they were stunting and then going into a low gear kind of quarterback spy. So we got lucky that the D-line had their own little line game going on. But that's one thing that, against some of these stunts, Ravens have been inconsistent in terms of handling those. But you can see Ronnie out there taking care of Bosa. Hell of a rep. If we go back and focus on Ronnie here, hell of a rep to just allow Lamar to sit in that pocket and let that open up deep. And then Lamar throws an absolute dart to Rashad Bateman. So obviously the interior handling of that stunt, not so good. Ronnie handling the outside against Bosa, really solid. So very solid rep. Ravens get a little bit lucky. Get another rep here. Getting to get help to that right tackle. But look at that pocket. And, credit Daniel Falele here. Going inside, 95 is going to give him a little bit of trouble on some of these other reps, but he absorbs that contact pretty well. But really solid pocket throughout this. This is going to be the touchdown of Mark Andrews. Watch Justice Hill on this play. Oh, boy. Hell of a rep from Justice Hill on the submarine. And again, we're going to see a little bit of a struggle against the stunt. So you're going to get the 3 tech that's to the right of Daniel Falele. He's going to cut inside. The 3 tech to the left of McCary is going to loop, and Falele misses it. You see right there. So ball comes out, but very close. So this is one of those things that Ravens O-line has struggled with, stunts in general, but some of those 2-gap stunts is what they've really struggled with. So bigger loops coming from 2 gaps over, it really comes down to this line needs to communicate better. So we just saw it with Tyler Linderbaum. Again, they got lucky. Just happened there with Daniel Falele. So, within a solid game, I think the ball coming out quick obviously helped out a lot in terms of limiting overall pressure. But you can see some of the concerns from some of these reps, because if Lamar has to hold that ball, if, Andrews doesn't get open right away, or he's not able to throw that right away, that's coming right up in his face, right? And then that leads to contact, and that's some of those big hits that we don't want to see. Keep rolling here. Again, solid overall. Falele, they're handling a stunt inside. You're going to get the stunt. 45 and 0 are going to switch spots. Linderbaum's going to pass that off to Falele, and Falele is just a little bit late coming off to get to 45. So as he gets off here, Lamar has to step up. Not a huge deal. I think they maintain the integrity of the pocket because Linderbaum has such a solid rep against 56. So right here, Linderbaum, I can't point, but Linderbaum is able to force 56 out. McCary is going to push out 0, and it creates that step-up lane right there, which gives a little bit of that margin for errors. But they did technically maintain the integrity of the pocket. Lamar just obviously has to step up, pitch that out. This was on 3rd and 9. Mark Andrews gets the first down right there. So not bad, but just, again, those stunts that were a little late to getting them, something that we need to keep an eye on, need to improve. And then solid rep here. Again, I see why Lamar is going to scramble, but overall, the integrity of the pocket isn't too bad, but Lamar is going to step out and then make a play like that. So some of these with Lamar scrambling, that's just how he plays. He's a playmaker. He wants to get outside the pocket, look downfield. So I don't have an issue with that. Thought the O-line was solid there. So just want to see that consistency out of them. And then just solid pocket there. Lamar is going to step up. And this is one of those plays where I think people were screaming for Lamar to scramble. And you can see, I'm not sure why he's not here. It's pretty solid 10 yards in front of him with his wheels. But when we go back to the O-line play on this one, McCary is going to get beat a little bit. You can see it's going to be a slow burn loss. He recovers pretty well, but that's just, that's one of those things with McCary in one-on-one reps. He's going to give up some of those slow burn pressures. So see, McCary didn't get charged with a pressure. I would give McCary a pressure here because even though it's slow, it's not a horrible loss by any means, but he's affected the quarterback. That's why Lamar Jackson had to step up there. So for him to have 0 pressures, but then you see that type of play that did affect the quarterback, that's what I'm putting down as a pressure personally. So again, Falele had 2, Ronnie Stanley had 3, Patrick McCary had 0, but then you see that rep, and that doesn't compute to me. Keep rolling here. And this was another one that the Ravens got very lucky with. So play action rep. I'll play it again so you guys can watch it. So we're focusing on Falele, Rosengarten, That's where the pressure comes from. It's number 90 who's aligned as a one tech to the left on your screen of Linderbaum. So you can see on the play action motion, he's going to dip over. So the question is, whose fault is it, right? So you're going to see the play action slide is going to be to the left. And Patrick Ricard, who you can see motioning right here, is going to come out to kick out the outside. So he comes to kick out, and I think I debated Rosengarten being at fault versus Falele, and I originally thought because the whole line is sliding to the left that this would be on Rosengarten for not sliding to the left, because Ricard's going to come across the formation and he's going to be there to kick out. You can see him sit down. So 92 is being blocked by Rosengarten right now, but Ricard's right there who would take that edge player. So it looks like there's two guys assigned to 92 and nobody assigned to 90. But then I went back to thinking about it, taking a closer look, some of their tendencies. Based on the pre-snap alignment, Rosengarten, if he was to slide left, would have to slide all the way down to take 90. Whereas even if Linderbaum's sliding left, Falele would just have a slight slide, like a half step slide left to take 90. That makes a little bit more sense to me. So I think Falele crashes in too hard. But you can see 93 and 90 both slant left. So it does look like that is part of the play design. I'm struggling with this one. You see 93 crosses Linderbaum's face, 90 crosses Falele's face. So 93 and 90 end up getting double, or 93, sorry, ends up getting doubled. 90 comes free. But it's interesting that they both crash so hard. Rosengarten didn't crash at all. Ricard is there to kick out. So I can kind of see the logic of both being at fault. But either way, we're really lucky Lamar Jackson's able to make plays like that. But again, no pressures assigned to the interior O-line or Rosengarten. Someone's certainly at fault. That's definitely a pressure. So some of my issues with PFF's pressure charting is there. I personally, if I had to assign blame, I would have given it to Rosengarten after seeing it again. Or would it be fun? I'm struggling with this one because everybody is slanting in so hard. Ricard is there to kick out. It's got to be Rosengarten. It's got to be. I think I just changed my mind again because Falele comes across, Linderbaum comes across. So if Rosengarten comes down hard, he's going to be there to pick up 90. Yeah, I'm struggling with that one. Drop a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. As you can see, I'm indecisive too, which is probably why I'm not in the charting business. And then last snap here, I think we're going to take a look at this is one of those reps where I think Lamar scrambles a little too early. You kind of get Linderbaum losing, but he recovers quite well. And then Lamar moves outside. I have no issues with him moving outside the pocket on this one. I wouldn't charge, I don't think, a pressure to anyone because I don't really see a rep that really forced that scramble. I think, Lamar felt a little bit of pressure, but then scrambles a little too early, in my opinion. So because you can see here, still a solid pocket. There's a step up lane. It's not like the pocket was narrow. So, but Lamar moving outside to try and find that ball to make a play. So no issues with that. So that's kind of what I saw from the pass protection. Overall, much improved against a couple of studs and Khalil Mack. I know he's playing injured, but Khalil Mack, still a really solid player. Obviously, Bosa is the type of guy that he is. And, they weren't able to wreck this game for the Ravens offense. So really solid work, really solid. I still have some issues with PFF's charting. I don't think I saw 3 pressures from Stanley, but I definitely saw some pressures from McCary and Falele or Rosengarten. So interesting to see what you guys think of that. Drop a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this breakdown and hit subscribe if you're new here. And thank you to BetUS for sponsoring this video.